I've had a great period working with VCOS, I really have. Energy is one of those portfolios that is front of mind in just about every newspaper, on every radio station, every day we're faced with it. And it doesn't matter what side of politics you're on, I think everyone would agree that we're in a bit of a mess. And whether it be understanding what we're paying, the escalating power prices that we're all facing, and those are the most vulnerable, those are the ones that are being hit the hardest. There is absolutely no question about that. And so to try and untangle the whole, what you probably consider as a bit of a scrambled egg when it comes to energy is pretty tough, because you've had governments of the past that have tried to kind of move things, a lot of it for political, a good press release that will go and announce something and then try and make it work. And so, when you do that, you see a whole lot of issues. And without meaning to be too political, I mean, even the solar for homes announcement that the government made just recently for 650,000 homes, there were renters and vulnerable people that were left off that. There was certainly anyone that wasn't a homeowner were left off. And then at the last minute, we only heard just recently now that there is another package for renters. But again, a very last minute announcement in which we've got effectively tenants having to sign up to a 4-year deal and with a whole lot of additional obligations. And again, just that fairness is not quite there. So what I would like to see when it comes to energy is very much a fair system for all. It's fortuitous that today we announced a new policy for a new power station that would be built, 500 megawatts that would come in to replace the previous power station that was lost under the previous government. We are not saying what energy source that would be, because we leave it to the market. We want the most affordable and reliable power that's available, and we certainly want it to assist in to work very closely alongside a lot of the renewable energy that's been brought into the market. So probably, most likely, that energy source would be gas, because it is fast, it comes into the market, and it can back up the renewables that are currently in the mix. But the underpinning element for us is to ensure that there is that affordability piece. And I wanted to specifically talk about the VIC-CEDU announcement that we made only a few weeks back. So that's a concession energy discount offer, Victorian concession energy discount offer, which we worked, and I must pay a lot of credit to VCOS, because it was really VCOS that came to us and Emma that came to us with a bit of an idea around how we could potentially look at helping those that are the most vulnerable. And you've got 912,000 concession holders that are all on varying offers, that some get better discounts than others, but ultimately are all highly vulnerable when it comes to paying their energy bills. Highest amounts of people that are kind of experiencing issues on disconnections and appeals in terms of disconnections. So what we've done in terms of that concession offer is very much based it on a model that South Australia has done, which we, as an opt-in basis, we say to anyone on that concession offer that you effectively come in on a government buy, and we put that to the market, and we get one buy, the best offer in a tender scenario, to ensure everybody gets the best deal possible in the most fairest way possible. We'd like to, people have said to us, why don't we, have it for everybody and not as an opt-in, because for a number of reasons. Firstly, we want to make sure that we get out there and demonstrate that this is something that people want to be on board with. We want to stage it. The South Australian government have done it and seen a $500 saving, up to a $500 saving per household. So we think that we can do the same by being very, very aggressive back to the retailers and ensure that the most vulnerable consumers get the best and sharpest deal. We have made certainly some announcements on some of the things that we're doing particularly in terms of renewables, and our focus is very much about taxpayer dollars. So things like schools, which we believe is a great place where we should be having renewables. So we've said on all schools by 2025 we would have solar panels, and that would go back to the school initially to reduce the bills that the schools are currently paying, and then when the schools are not operating, that would be fed back in and then made available to others. We also believe that would be the same approach that we would have to hospitals, community centres and effectively taxpayer funded buildings, so we can give it back to those, to everybody in a fair and equitable manner, and not just not giving it to certain individuals in a targeted manner. So certainly for us, it is about fairness. As I said, the announcement that we made today, we believe is a very important one in terms of bringing more power into the market. We've had modelling done from Frontier Economics to suggest that every household would save, a mid-sized household, about $355 annually on the basis of doing this. It also allows us to keep the existing generators in the market until their anticipated closure date. And if you look at your Lawn Power Station by 2032 and not have them come off early, because we believe early closures all of a sudden have that elevated presence, and that's why we saw in the recent closure an 85% increase in wholesale prices. We've seen $950 increase in both gas and electricity bills for people. So we are very, very focused on affordability and reliability as part of our mix. I might leave it there because I know you'll have plenty of questions, but that's certainly where we're at, and thank you very much for having me here today.